Good morning, everybody. Here, making a quick video on my way to the workplace. After all night battle with trying to make that purchase from Akai, that Pro Pack. First of all, that link for Teespring or whatever the hell the company is that process the payments, it doesn't work. How you doing, Twin Cities Oxygen? Yeah, I can drive and talk and do all kinds of stuff at the same time. The thing is that, you know, I'm talking about the new MPC update, and we're gonna be forced to pay $99, and on top of that, that we're forced to pay $99 to get. The only thing I like about the new MPC updates will be the time stretching that they added, that it can be used on the older versions of the MPC, and the clip launching, which is basically what I wanted to have on the MPC back again, because the MPC 2.15 has the clip launcher. So I don't understand. It's a different clip launcher. It's not like the clip launcher that we used to have in 2.15, which it was a little bit different. It was kind of like a pad programming on that one, and it was sample based. I don't know if the new one is on if the new one is more advanced or whatnot, whatever. The thing is, they're obligating us to pay $99 for 4 plugins that are not the greatest plugins. First of all, they're not gonna do that big of a difference when it comes to production, and they just basically making the machine really obsolete. This machine was never finished. The MPC Live 2 and the MPC Live itself, it was never a finished machine. A lot of people say that for them it's stable. Yeah, when you just sit down and put like a little drum program and just tap a couple things, that's the thing. The thing is that some people just make little beats. But when you want to make big beats that have big effects on it, transitions inside the song, all this, what do you call that? Triggering effects during your production and making more interesting music. Yeah, it's nice for chopping. People like to do that lazy chop. They take a song that the drums are already made, and then you chop the drums and make it sound like you did something, but you really didn't do anything. And for those type of people that like to sample, the MPC is a very stable platform. No, don't get me wrong. But when a person is building from the ground up with the MPC, we're putting MIDI information to play our own drums from scratch. We're also writing the melodies that are gonna go into the MPC are being written by hand in the MPC. It's not a sample; it's being written by hand, and there's things that you want to do when you're writing stuff, and that's what gets me. Like when you're like a power user of certain things, when you use a lot of the power, you wanna make cool stuff. You don't wanna make what everybody's making. People are just sampling the music that is already played, just playing it in different ways, and that's music. That's you can do that with a 90s SP1200. You can do that with an ancient sampler. You can do all those things. So you're telling me that this is a 20? That I bought the MPC in 2021, and ever since I bought that machine, it has never been stable enough, and it doesn't perform like it should perform when it has all the options in there. And when you use those options, it just destroys the machine every single time. So I found that 2.15 was a little bit more still out of the whole bunch, but at the same time, it still can't handle certain things, especially on the MIDI side. When you want to have effects ready to rock and roll. What's going on, Aaron Parties, Mr. Eternian? How you doing? Yeah, here having a little bit of a breakdown when it comes to the current situation with the MPCs and these money guzzling companies. The MPC for me has been a money pit. Every single time they come out with something new, you have to pay for it, and those new things bring more problems to the ecosystem. And now it has been 5 years since I bought the machine, and now it's basically being obsolete. Like they're just basically making it obsolete. Why do I say that? Well, because what they do is they just come up with a better machine, right? A better machine, and then they're gonna dedicate their knowledge and their thing to fixing the new machine or making sure that new machine doesn't fail, and forget about the old one that everybody's been like. I understand that people work hybrid. They probably use the MPC to tap a couple drums. This is me. The only way I've used like the MPC successfully is to tap in the drums, just to tap the drums and record it into my DAW. So I end up in the DAW again. So stand on my balls. It doesn't work. It's a piece of shit. And I love it. I love it, and I hate it. I hate it more than I love it. Why? Because it doesn't. I always end up like I can make a whole beat on FL Studio just by using FL Studio by itself, and most of the beats that I made in FL Studio because it's usually I get into really bad hiccups with the MPC. Yeah, it's good for making sample-based music. Just sample, resample, and then play with sample chops. But then why would you make a machine that can do MIDI, that can do all these other things, and then you have all this fucking live type of plugins, right? But I don't understand. I don't know how we got to the point where we let these people are just like banking on failure, basically. They're just banking on the failure. You know, a lot of people are saying that the Roland is bad, Roland is this, Roland is that. But man, I have a SH4D, right? Never had a freaking problem with the SH4D ever. Since I got it, I never had a problem. Not even a single hiccup with that SH4D. And I use all four parts, right? I use all four parts. I've used the SH4D, all four parts, and the drums, and it doesn't have hiccups. It doesn't suddenly restart. It doesn't, and it's a slower machine, which is it has less specs. You know, the TR8S is another machine that I have. It has never failed me. Never failed me, ever. I know it's just a drum machine, it doesn't do anything else, but it's a finished machine. You buy a TR8S right now, and it's gonna work. And every time you turn it on, it's gonna work. And anything you do in all its capability, it will never budge. It will never fail. It will never have hiccups. You see? That's the problem. The problem is that we are here as consumers being sold a whole bunch of crap. It's just crap. I mean, you know, the MPC has a big ass processor compared to the MPCs of the 90s, right? The capabilities and amount of sampling time is huge, right? But then the 90s machines don't budge. The 90s machines don't, like, they don't have that much problem. They work, they do their thing, they produce MIDI, which that's MIDI production centers. They do all these things. They didn't add stuff that would break the machine because they understood that they had a limit, right? So then don't sell me something that doesn't work, because you say, oh, you can do this, but then when I go do that on the machine fucking restarts itself, it crashes, it has problems, it's too slow, will hang up. And to buy an MPC Live 3 now, just because you upgraded the hardware. Yeah, you upgraded the hardware, but are we gonna go and start over with the same thing with the MPC Live 3 now? Is gonna be the next money pit, where they're gonna start adding on and adding on and adding on until they fucking break the machine and it becomes obsolete, and then we have to come with a MPC Live 4 and an MPC Live 5 and an MPC Live 6, and then what happens with the older machines? We fill up the landfill with a bunch of non-functional MPCs, you know. Yeah, the new one is amazing. Don't get me wrong, the new one is amazing. But bro, like, finish the first one you did before that. They didn't finish it. They never finished the product. Yeah, I had the MPC Live 2 for 5 years unfinished. Unfinished. I swear to God, they need to sue these people, bro. Because they're fucking with us. They're fucking with us in a way that I never seen. Like, you buy a guitar, and you know when a guitar is bad, so you don't pick that guitar up, right? But when you buy a guitar that costs you more, it plays. It plays. Yeah, and you can change the strings, and it plays. Always plays. It doesn't fail. You don't buy a guitar that when you tune it, it bends sideways. You know, the guitars that bend sideways are that doesn't work right, are the guitars that are cheap. And there are guitars that everybody tells you that, it's not a professional guitar. But professional, when you have professional on your name and you're selling something that is from a company that is named Akai Pro. The machine's supposed to be a professional machine. It should work. That's it. That's it. It should work. You know, you get a guitar, like you buy a $150 guitar. You already know that when you buy a $150 guitar, the guitar is gonna suck. It's not gonna have a good action. It's not gonna stay in tune, and probably probably at the seam where the neck sets, it's gonna crack through there, easily. It's not well built. The tuning, the headstock and the tuning, the tuning things, whatever the fuck that name is. Those things don't work right. They're not locking tuners. It's a plastic thing on top. It's not a graphite style, and then that's the difference, right? So, I can buy a Teenage Engineering for $299 for sampling. I can just fucking do that. Use that one. You can go buy a Teenage Engineering and do sample chopping with that one. And you don't need an MPC. Nobody needs an MPC. If you're gonna do just sampling, you're just sampling something and chopping it and playing other people's music in different ways. That's nice. That's very nice. I mean, you can do that with Koala Sampler. I have it on my phone, bro. I can make a beat in my phone. And the Koala Sampler doesn't fail, which is the messed up part. I got better software in my phone than what they can do in a standalone box that's supposed to be a dedicated machine, right? So it's a total failure in their part. I think Akai is I stand on the thing that Akai sucks. Yeah, they suck. It's awesome. It's awesome, but it sucks because you pay thinking that all the features are gonna work, and you have all the features, but when you start using the features, the machine doesn't work right. It fails. It doesn't work. Blah blah blah. Yeah, workflow, and now they made the new one that has all these tricks, right, and all these things, and that's very nice. That's what I've been trying to do with the MPC, with the one that I have. That's what I've been trying to do, because the only reason why they made the new one is because they couldn't figure out the old one. And they say, fuck it, fuck this. We're not gonna rewrite the code on this machine. We'd rather come out with a newer machine and go from there. Use more power so they don't feel it's gonna fail. The new one is gonna fail. It's gonna have bugs because it's the same software. It's the same coding. It's the same everything. The same software. It's gonna have problems. I'm telling you. The only thing, going back to the situation, is that now I went in to buy the Pro package, which is $100 more. That machine right now, with all the stuff that I bought already, between all the features that you had to buy and all the halftime and all this stuff, what's it called, all the plugins and all that stuff, that machine, the older version, is a $3,000 machine. Basically a $3,000 machine, because if you buy everything on it, and now they offer things free that you had to pay before, so that the people that grab the old machine now, they get the features that I had to pay when it came out, but now they get it free, right? So basically they're just milking the people. That's what it's all about. It's not about music. It's not about providing a tool for the musician. It's bullshit. You see all these people at the Akai channel doing live sessions. That's a ridiculous live session, bro. I mean, you got a guy triggering a sample. Is that the example of being a live musician? Just triggering one sample with a finger? You know, that sucks, bro. So, yeah, you're playing the Moog, no problem. You're playing the Moog because it's a Moog. That's why you're playing the Moog. But then on top of that, you know, you're just playing a sample. You're just playing a sample. You're just hitting a sample. Bam, bam, bam. And everybody think, oh, that's the coolest live performance. They made a fucking live performance video. And then it's a guy playing a Moog with one hand and hitting a sample. There's already a sample that is played music, which is fucked up. It's played music. So you're just like hitting it, like, you know, thing, and then, you know, you're acting like you're doing something, and you just, you know, I'm not hating, but, you know, the obvious thing is to have somebody that is really capable doing really. Now you can do it with a new one, of course, because they realize how ridiculous they look, you know. What's up, the OG? Thanks for the sub. I appreciate that a lot. You know, I'm here ranting a little bit with the situation with Akai and their products, and I went to that Teespring or whatever the hell is the name of that thing, and you know, it won't process any payment. So right now, the I bought the Pro package, and I'm waiting for them to see if they're gonna process the payment or not. So it's hanging in the air. Last night I tried to check it out, but there's no clip launching, and the new time stretch is not there anyways. The new plugins, we had, you know, we already had equalizers. We already have stereo image enhancing things in the MPC that were already there. The only thing new, I think it was some kind of new instrument, but I mean, you know, the thing is not working right, bro. Really. Yeah. So yeah. So in the other side of the whole thing, Roland comes out with a machine that is like super fucking expensive, $2,700, and yeah, it looks very professional. People don't understand what I mean by professional. What I mean by professional is that a professional can do the professional job with that machine because it has all the features a professional machine should have. First of all, second of all, the sonics on that machine are gonna be higher than any other machine that is out in the market right now. Not just because it has analog circuitry that creates 808s and such, but also has analog effects that are gonna enhance the sonics on that machine. You know, it has built-in compressors that are really nice. You know, I understand it's a little bit pricey, right? It's a little bit pricey. But when you buy that machine, it won't budge. That machine ain't gonna budge, because I know Roland, that machine is not gonna fucking glitch out. Roland doesn't glitch out, bro. These Japanese people, they know what they're doing. They're not gonna make a shit. You know, that's why it costs so much, because they made a solid machine. That machine for sure is gonna work solid, and it does the sampling. The sampling on that machine is added on. It's like an add-on to it, you know, and it does the sample chopping. It does, you know, And I've been thinking over here. I said, should I buy an MPC or I buy the Roland because I'm gonna end up in FL Studio. I'm gonna end up taking all these outputs from the Roland and running it through my ADATs and going back inside the FL Studio to finish my work because the only thing that is working right now it's a digital audio workstation. FL Studio, you can't compare an MPC to an FL Studio, or a Logic. You can't compare a Machine Plus with a FL Studio, ever, 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 ever. And we had stability issues with FL Studio back in the day, right? But right now in 2025, FL Studio mega stable, no fucking problem, no hiccups, no nothing. I unless sometimes it could happen if you have like your connections in the back, like audio interface, you disconnect something, it might go out of whack. But if you keep everything like connected and everything is working just fine, you are not gonna have a hiccup on FL Studio. And on top of that, it has its own arrangement, plays. It has its own thing. You can do routings in and out. You have, and it uses the whole capability of the computer itself, right? Let me see what it say. Yeah. Well, I don't care about sweating. We are adults over here. This show is it's not made for kids. It's on the description if you want to see it. It's not made for kids. We are all adults here. And if you want to swear, you can swear. I don't care. The TR-1000 is a machine for the person that wants to do or is doing professional music. He's doing music professionally, and nobody wants to admit it. People are like, oh, it's too expensive. I understand. The TR-8S is a professional machine also, but the TR-8S is not gonna it's already capped. It's already capped. They're not gonna do anything else with the TR-8S because they don't want to have. I bet Roland is not gonna want to add another feature to the TR-8S and then make the machine unusable. They want to have a usable machine. So the TR-8S is gonna be, it has its workaround. If you want micro timing, you can do kind of like a micro timing, not so micro, but you can do off grid, a little bit off grid. If you run the sequencer in double speed, the only difference is that instead of getting 128 steps, you're getting, I think if I'm not mistaken, you're getting half of that. 64 steps throughout the whole thing, I think it is. So yeah, if you want, I'll show you guys later on how that goes. But the TR-1000 is a more complete machine. It has assignable. All the knobs are assignable wherever you want to assign them to. It has a crossfader you can use and assign it to things that will make your music more what you may call that. You can make your music more interesting and more, have more variant sound on it. You can be more creative with those assignments because you can be a more creative musician on the fly. And that's a machine that was well thought of because Yeah, yeah, it samples. So when you have a machine that can sample, a machine like that has an analog pathway and it has all this really good sonics on the outputs. Uh, Plus, you add the sampling capability. You're basically unstoppable because what you do is um, just sample your instruments in. You can sample. It's not gonna do multi-sample, right? But you can sample your instruments in and then use that, you know, in many different ways inside of the thing. Um, the other thing is that we're going back to basics, back to the DAW. I don't know if to spend this $100 on this MPC. I don't know if to keep trying to make this machine work. And the last live jam that I did and all the effects, this is the MPC doing its job, but you know, that's just like that was done with like very simple, right? So I was thinking that with the new firmware update that they will do to the machine, we would have gotten more stability and, you know, a finished product. Yeah, I want to get it. I want to get it because they just retired the Live 2. You know, they just retired the Live 2. That's what they did. The Live 2 and the older machines, those machines are basically retired. That's why you see all the people that got the MPC for free from the company, they're smiling. You know why they're smiling? Because they have it for free and they don't have to worry because they are playing inside baseball, right? We the consumer have to now stay with this paperweight, right? They got rid of their shit already last year for sure. In the beginning of the year, I seen a whole bunch of YouTubers that got rid of their shit because I saw them. They got rid of all their shit because they're playing inside baseball. You know, we're coming out with something new and that shit. Oh, she coming out. Oh, so I better sell it now before people sell it for cheaper, you know. So since they're playing inside baseball, they don't lose anything. We are the ones losing here. The people that are not playing that inside baseball, we're not getting that information forehand. I would have gotten rid of the machine already. Easily. I would have said fuck that. Because they're not gonna work on the older versions of MPC. They're done with it. They're done with the older versions of MPC. They're not gonna work on that anymore. It's people have to get that through their head. You know, they gave us a couple things that quote unquote just to be on the keep up, but it's just another money grab. You know, and I see it when I see it. And I feel bad because the only problem I have is that I spend so much money on all these upgrades for the MPC platform, and now they decide that they basically quit it on the older version of MPC and reimagined it again because they know they are failing. You know, what's up, Echo Craft? Going on? Eternian, how's it going, Mr. Eternian? The Machines won. I didn't say hello. How you doing, Machines won? Here, pissed off about the situation with Akai and you know the bullshit with their software. And is this a way of Akai saying that we quit on the first version because we can't handle it? And instead of just making a stable, a stable MPC, and that's it. You don't need to keep adding stuff. That's what kills companies. I tell you, if I buy the MPC Live 3, which I can do, right? I can go get it. I can go get it. But that's not the point. The point is that we never had a finished machine before. So what is gonna assure me that if I go buy the newer version of MPC, is it gonna assure me that that doesn't assure me that the newer version of MPC is not gonna go through the same crap the last version went through? You see? So, people have to wake up and smell the air outside. Yeah, you're paying for Roland $2,700, but you're paying $2,700 for a finished machine, right? A fully finished machine. With all the features a professional studio needs to have on a drum machine, which is direct outputs per each drum part, and that's it. And the headroom. You need to have the headroom. You need to have the conversion. You have that conversion, that digital to analog conversion. Yeah. I understand the thing about the TR. The TR's price is pricey. It's a pricey machine, and I don't take that from nobody. Right now, I can go get me, because this is what I was thinking. I might go get me an analog heat, an analog rhythm. I go get me an analog rhythm. I use the analog rhythm Mark II. I go get it. It has analog voices. You can do the same thing. You can do multi-layering together with the analog voices, just like the TR-1000. The only difference is that with MPC, I could do all my synthesizer sequencing. That's the only reason why I'm so mad at the situation, because I do use the sequencing on the MPC. Like, I can trigger on and off my sequences to my gear, right? Because I don't have 6 hands, I have 2. So if I can like write my parts and bring them in and out during production or during recording, that's great, because it just cuts time in half when it comes to producing. So, I can get a analog rhythm Mark II for way less and get the same results. And people say, it doesn't sound the same, but it takes samples. It's samples. So if it doesn't sound the same, right, get a sample. I'm thinking about getting the rhythm, the analog rhythm. Now that, if you see it, when you look at it, it has all the outputs. It has performance. It has a performance mode for us, for people like us that like to do live jams. So it has performance things, and then it has an input where you can process also with you can process incoming audio with the internal effects of the machine too. So it's not bad, So I don't know. I'm about to be gone. I gotta get in there and start working today. And then I've been rewiring the whole setup back to the FL Studio setup. And I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm thinking about yanking the MPC out of there and not even looking at it anymore. And then I'm gonna start using my computer to sequence all my synth parts and start working with the FL Studio better. It might be better for me. Echoes 3 machine idea. You know, we want Sonics. That's the thing. The other thing is that it doesn't matter how many machines you got, but what comes into your computer, because everybody here, it's finishing their stuff in the computer. So what comes in your computer is what matters, right? So I think I'm gonna invest my money in high quality converter ADATs. You know, the ADATs probably I get from the same line, like the same Audient line. I might get the Audient 8-channel ADAT that has really good conversion, and I might get that because that's more important than the machines outside. You know, you want to capture the sound that's coming from your machines as high quality as you can, you know. Mira, like I was saying, Aaron parties, it's a bummer because they basically quit the machine. That's basically what happened. They say, we can just listen. Let's do this. Let's make a new one with a better CPU and with more RAM and more of these things, because people are getting upset or people are getting tired of the old way. No, they did it because they want to retire the old one. They don't want to. They know the machine has limitation. And the limitation is there. They have to understand. Like Akai needs to understand. Well, they know it. Or they don't care anyways, because they're done with it. Yeah. You know, the limitation. If you know you have a limitation, why push it? You know, they used to say in 2021 that the machine had more space for better capability. We can add. We're adding more things in the future. Did they consult that with the people that built the machine, with the engineers? Did the engineers tell them, listen, hey, if we keep adding to this machine, it's gonna make it unworkable type of machine, because we're gonna offer things that are not gonna work in the end for other people. You know. Yeah, Logic Pro. I'm thinking about getting Logic Pro. The Logic Pro clip launching works really good on Logic Pro, like the best, I think, right now. Man, I bet those engineers told them, like, Lay, this machine we can't do that. We gotta keep it simple. It's not gonna work. It worked, but it's gonna work. But when they try to do this and that, it's gonna start having problems. And for sure, they went with it because they're trying to appease the people that invest in the company, and the people that invest in the company, they want to make money, or they gonna pull out. They don't want them to go. They don't want them to sell the stock. So, you know, the pressure. You know, they're putting all the Akai engineers that for sure, I bet these people are working 24/7. And I bet these engineers told them for sure, like, hey, bro, that shit, just keep it more simple, because you know, the CPU is not fast enough. It might not be able to handle many things at once, or there's too many communications because I use MIDI. I send all the MIDI to all my machines. So I have 6 machines receiving MIDI from the Akai. And on top of that, I'm doing like I'm doing like effects. I'm processing all of those machines with the internal effects of the MPC and all those things. It adds up. It adds up. So you're having communications going out, and then you're stressing the CPU inside with the effects and automation and all these things. And when you do all that stuff, it can't handle it. It's too much. Yo, Sin Samurai, how's it going? I'm about to go. It's nice to see all of you over here at the channel. Thanks for joining me. For those who are watching that not part of the group or that never been in the channel, please like and subscribe. I'm Tactical MIDI. I usually do things around and about, and I do live jams online and all these things. I'm not sure, Sin Samurai, if I'm buying anything right now, because the like I was speaking the MPC situation and the way they're doing things, it doesn't assure me a future. Like, if I get the new MPC, are they gonna keep doing the same thing? Are they gonna come with the new MPC and they're gonna start adding stuff until it breaks, like the last one that never got finished? You know, and the only reason, that's why I'm thinking about getting I don't know what I'm gonna get now, because I like sequencing and I need a machine that can do all my synthesizer sequencing, right? So if I wanted to go to a place and perform live, I need a way of having all this sequencing available. It's Buy Day Friday. No, there's no buying this Friday. It's Friday. I'm broke right now. I tell you. Well, anyways, buyer beware. This market is full of fake stuff. The TR-1000 is expensive, but it's a finished product. Are you willing to spend $2,700 on a finished product? Or are you willing to spend $1,700 on a possibly not ever gonna be finished product? It's one or the other. The SP16, that's Eternian. Yes. You know, the Pioneer SP6. Oh, I can buy the Squid too. The problem is, the problem for me is performance, live performance effects. That's the problem. I want to have live performance effects. So I want to be able to do all this crazy stuff too. You know, so I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking about the SP16 the other day, and I was looking at a couple of them. And then you also have the Squid. But then I you know, the Chaos Pad Replay, I've thought about that one, but it doesn't sequence. And that's the problem. The problem is that I want to be able to launch sequences and mute sequences and you know, on the fly rewrite sequences on the fly. You know, that's very important for the workflow, or the workflow that I have when it comes to live jamming and all that stuff. Also, I have the RC202 looper, which does a great job, but then I'm quickly finding out that it cannot handle output from, because right now I added an audio interface, just the audio interface only for the OBS. And you know, when I send the signal from the outputs of my ID44 into the RC202, it's too hot. It's way too hot. It distorts everything going into the RC202. And then if I lower the volume, and the volume that I get on the second interface, I can't barely hear it. Like this is I can't live. I can't have a lot happy life, bro. You know, I can't have it. I can't have it. You can't have it. Nobody can have it. I think it's almost impossible. I use the RC202 and the outputs. I have to make sure the output is low, and then, you know, and because it works at minus 10 dB, it doesn't work as plus 4 dB like regular like regular studio equipment. So I have to figure out a way to get the output, that full output, and diminish it. Have like a bottleneck to lower it down, you know. Yeah, the RC202. Listen, the RC202 works because it does work. But I found out the hard way, even though I seen artists that are doing like, yeah, they have a DI box that I can use, but it goes from 1/4 to XLR, and so that means I have to buy two XLR to I have to buy two XLR cables from XLR to 1/4, and so that means that I have, you know, I'm gonna end up spending $80 more on a DI, and having to, you know, it's a fucking mess, bro. You know, and I love live jamming. People don't get me. It's a torture. Since Samurai, I understand you know, you have your style, but you know, you have your style and I have my style. Everybody has their style. My style is that I want to have effects on the go. I want to be able to press a button and twist a knob and make the fucking wildest sound that I can get from that, right? And then I let go of that button and we're back to normal. And that's what I want to have. And when you want all those things, it's a mess. I'm a mess. I sat down last night 3 hours rewiring everything because I want to have the audio coming into OBS after all my you know, after all my mastering chain, right? When I do the master chain, and I want to run everything at the end through the Behringer 369 and capture that sound from that and then send it to the OBS. So that's what you guys are going to be listening to from now on, is the audio capture, you know, through the whole system. I'm going to be having all my channels going out into the Mackie mixer, and then in the Mackie mixer I'm gonna bring in some character, and it's gonna go through the, what's it called, the 369 back into the converters directly. No, not into the preamps, into the converters. And then then I'm gonna have two outputs going out from there to the other interface that is gonna be just the interface for the OBS. And you guys are gonna hear the sound of everything being processed, you know. So I want to do that, but when I add the RC202 before I get to the OBS, it can't handle the amount of power, right? It can't handle the power, so it distorts. So I have to significantly lower the output so that it can. But I feel like I'm doing something. It's not that I'm doing something wrong, is that I feel like it's stupid that I have to lower you know, the volume itself, just to make way for the RC202 to work correctly. Yeah, that's the other thing too, Eternian, is that the RC202 only works as 44.1 as an audio device. It only can work at 44.1. So I'm gonna keep it, but I might use it for like vocal stuff. Like I wanna, and then they fucked up the MPC, bro. I'm so mad about this shit. They're not gonna fix anything. They're not gonna fix anything. I so disappointed with this company. Really disappointed. Yeah. No, the RC505 can take in the high level stuff, but I don't have the real estate though. To get a 505 is high, and the only thing I want the looper to do is to be a placeholder. It's like, okay, hold this loop for a minute here while I change the jam into something else, right? That's what I really want to get to, is that I press the RC202, I keep that loop going while I'm changing the stuff over here. You know, it should be holding there, and then before I get back to the when I jump back to the newer version of the jam, I can do all the effects on the RC202 and drop onto the new stuff, and so on and so forth. That's why I got it for. So now I gotta figure that one out. Probably at the DI box, and do like a minus 20 dB on the DI box and send it to the audio interface. I guess that's the only way I can do that. You know, it takes more money. $60 for a DI box to do this thing, plus 2 cables. That's gonna run me up to like $80, and I don't want to spend $80, bro. Well, I'm out. I gotta go. I'm late already. Yeah, I gotta get my mind out there so people understand where I'm coming from. Good night for some of you. Good day for some of you. Have a nice day. I'll see you around this week. All right. Don't quit, people. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. I'll see you next time. All right. Peace.